I'm Susan Lozier, Professor of Ocean Sciences here at the Nichols School. Earlier this week, I had the opportunity to participate with two of my colleagues, Martin Doyle and Deb Gallagher, in a discussion entitled Lessons from Harvey. Now, as an oceanographer, my part of the discussion was to get across the point that though Hurricane Harvey is the type of hurricane we expect to occur in a warming climate, at this point we can't attribute Hurricane Harvey directly to climate change. What was really interesting to me about Hurricane Harvey was that we know that it stalled and it just kept raining over Houston and had a record amount of rain. But the reason for that is that when it stalled, half of the hurricane was sitting over the Gulf of Mexico. And so as an oceanographer, it was really interesting to me to understand that Harvey just kept being rejuvenated with rain as the winds were sweeping over that very warm Gulf of Mexico water. The second thing that I always look at is the particular track. So these hurricanes form in the tropical Atlantic, and I'm always very interested in understanding whether or not they're going to make the turn and go up our east coast, or whether they're going to go into the Caribbean and on into the Gulf of Mexico. Actually, there was a really interesting question that a student brought up near the end of the conversation. And he asked me, well, don't climate scientists, or shouldn't climate scientists actually use these intense hurricanes to give lessons about the dangers, of climate change? And my response to him was, we don't really need to pinpoint these hurricanes on climate change to really have warnings about, climate change. We know that we have global warming, atmospheric temperatures are increasing, we know we have global sea level rise, and we know of Arctic sea ice loss. But trying to pin a particular hurricane right now on global climate change really isn't scientifically credible. We need to gather much more data about hurricanes in years and decades ahead before we make that attribution. But the fact that we can't make that attribution now doesn't mean that we don't have a world that is experiencing impacts because of a warming climate.